Hey everyone, welcome to the squad. This is the Park Squad Pod, a podcast where four friends catch up and chat about all things Disney, day-to-day life, and more. My name is Haley and I'm your host for today's episode. I'm here with the rest of the squad.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Heidi.
And I'm Brandon.
And welcome to episode 3, Ranking Magic Kingdom Attractions. So for today's episode, we have all of the attractions from Magic Kingdom listed land by land. So we're going to kind of go in order, starting with Adventureland, ending with Tomorrowland. And we are going to do kind of a gut reaction check. So we will have 0 being get it out of the parks, just a waste of space. 100 being perfect, never touch it, everything's great. So we're going to just kind of go through each one, rank it, and then talk about our rankings. And then at the end, we will, after the episode is over, we will add up our rankings, average them out, and then our winners will be posted to our Instagram page. So starting with Adventureland, the first ride we have up is a big one, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ooh.
All right. So we're going to go in order too. It'll be Heidi, Brandon, then me, then Tommy ranking them.
Okay. So 100's the best case scenario. I'm going to say 89.
Whoa.
Wrong rank.
Nice. I was like, wow. I'm going to say 82 for Pirates.
All right. I'm next. I think I'm not quite as high. I think I'm going to go like a 76.
Nice.
I'm right around everyone. I'm going to go with a 81.
All right. That was high, I feel like. It's a strong start for our Adventureland.
I think that I'm kind of taking into account like a lot of things, I guess, but I really do feel like that this ride is like a longer one in terms of like, again, like the wait times is not long and the ride for me like is long and there's lots that goes on. I just love like the vibe in there. It's like a slower boat ride, love the drop. And I just think it's kind of like iconic factor has it a bit higher for me, but I really do enjoy it. I feel like it's a must do every time that we go.
Yeah, I personally like it as well. And like the smells and like it's just very calming to me other than the drop. Like, I don't know. It's one of those where I feel like you go in there and it's like dark and it's kind of like chill.
It's cold in there. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and I think when they added the Jack Sparrow animatronics, I think it really did something because it's so good. Like with the first time you ride it, you have to do like a double take seeing him. Especially in a couple of the areas, they're better than the others. But I definitely think that adding that was a huge plus.
Yeah, I don't love this one. So I'm a little bit afraid that later in the rankings I'm gonna look back and be like, oh, I went a little high with that. But I do enjoy it, and it's something that like there's no surprises anymore. Like once you've been on it as many times as we have, you kind of know exactly what's gonna happen. But I never find myself bored at all. I'm always just like, oh yeah, look at that. Oh look, they're chasing the pirate with the broom. That's so funny. Like so I think it does have a charm to it, which is probably why it's stuck around so long, basically untouched except for the addition of Jack Sparrow, and no one really calls for it to be, updated.
No, they made a whole movie series about it.
Yeah,
so.
good movies too. Honestly, maybe that factor into it, and now I'm okay with the 81 because I like those movies.
All right, I think we're gonna go the opposite end of the spectrum here. The next one on our list is Swiss Family Treehouse.
Oh, so do I? Okay.
Yep, Heidi, you're up.
I have to say just a number. Okay, I'll just preface it by saying I've never done this. I want to do it, but I didn't do it on our last trip. So I will say 25.
I feel like for me, I've never done this and I have no interest in doing it, but I don't like in good conscience feel like I can give it a 0 because I don't really know what to expect from it. So I will say like a 10 because I just don't really want to do it, but I can't say 0 because I've never done it.
Yeah, I think I'm in between there. I'll probably give it like a 17. I have never done it. I think that Disneyland's looks more inviting.
I agree.
I mean, we've been to Disney a zillion times, never going on it. I can't give it over a middling score like that.
Yeah, I like 25. I was between 30 and 25, hovering between there. I think that honestly, the fact that I haven't done it is probably holding it up a little bit more because I don't have any negative experiences with it. There's definitely going to be stuff that's lower than 25. But it is kind of like, I don't know, it's okay to look at. I have no desire to go on there. Maybe if we had kids running around, they needed to get some exercise and like run around up there, that would be nice. But current state, it doesn't really move the needle for me.
Yeah, I guess the next time we all go, we've got to go in the treehouse together and and reevaluate
Yeah.
this score.
Give it a fair assessment.
I just am like, if I'm exhausted and it's hot, I like the last thing I want to do is like trek up a treehouse in
And
like
it looks so
boiling hot
narrow.
weather.
I can't imagine. There's definitely not like a good view or anything up there either, because you would see it on Instagram and like feel, the desire to go up there. It's definitely just like leaves.
Yeah, we'll have to try it one time and we'll like vlog or post on Instagram that we finally did the
Mhm.
treehouse and let you know the actual review.
Comes
Yeah.
back with straight zeros. Yeah.
Yeah, or I mean, maybe it'll come back with 90s.
Yeah, who
True.
knows?
All right, our next ride we are moving on to is Magic Carpets of Aladdin.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say 80.
Wow. Yeah, I think
Right.
that I'm kind of around. I'll say like a 75 for that one
All
for me.
right. I'm not going to go quite as high. I think I'm going to go at like a 55. It's
Yeah.
right near the middle for me, I think.
Yeah, I'm 47. I don't they're like, and I guess I'll just kicked off with telling why I rated it so low, because I'm a bit ways lower. I think that there are a handful of rides that are very similar. Kind of you go up and you spin around in a circle, and I think this is probably the weakest of those. And it just, I don't know, like I don't think it has the charm that some of the others do. It doesn't, it's okay. You can tilt the carpet. I think that's fun, but the charm, doesn't affect me. I get why other people might like it, but I think I would probably opt for one of the other spinny rides.
Yeah, I feel like I used to feel that way, but then when we rode it, so I never had ridden it, so that's why I felt that way. But then when we rode it, I didn't realize that you could like move the carpets like this, and then also the camel like
The
spits
camel
at you.
spit in my face, and I was
So like we
this
got
is-
spit on like while we were on the ride, so I thought that was like really funny. And I think it was like we rode it at night, and like the way that like the area around got like lit up, like I was like, oh, this feels like magical. Like it feels like Disney should feel. So I think that's why I ranked it high, just from like that one experience. I've only ever ridden it once, but
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, like I think I'm kind of opposite of Tommy now, where I used to be that way before, which I've never done Astro like Orbiter, to be fair, because I feel like not going to really fit so well
Yeah,
in
you
there.
said that.
Yeah.
But for me, like this one just again has like
Wait,
the
why are you
fun
saying
factor.
Astro Orbiter?
Or sorry, isn't that what it is?
Totally different ride than no, it goes around
No.
in a circle, but it
No.
is a
Magic
very
Carpet.
different
I
feel.
know, but I'm comparing it to that one where like I would have had that one the lowest.
Oh, you didn't
Instead,
finish
sorry.
your sentence.
I
was
mean that I would have like I do have that one lowest. This one
Mm.
is my favorite of the spinning 3 rides because I
Okay.
feel like we had the best time on it. Like I like the whole like element of the spitting camel, and like the music kind of gets me going on there too.
Yeah.
Hearing about your experience, it kind of is starting to make sense to me, because I've only been on it once, and when we went on, it was like raining, like it was
Right.
gray, like there wasn't like the sun wasn't out. It was just like a totally bland gray day, and we got up there, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. You can tilt the thing. That's cool. But other than that, but if I was up there and it was either like a perfect day or all the lights were on, I think that maybe that would impact me and shoot me up higher. So that makes sense. It's starting to click at least.
I think that's like a lot of Disney is that it is situational. Like
For sure.
obviously this isn't the best ride you've ever been on, but if you had like a really good magical experience with it, like it
Yeah.
makes all the difference. Like I think it can really sway your opinion on things.
Yes, for sure.
All right, right next to the Magic Carpets of Aladdin is the Enchanted Tiki Room. So that's where we're going to head to next.
Okay. Oof. I don't know. 37.
Yeah, I'm at like a 40. I feel like I'm right in that range, like a high 30 to 40.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 38,
Yeah,
right with Heidi.
I'm gonna go 51.
Whoa.
nice.
I don't know. We went and one time had a bad experience, but
Terrible.
I do kind of like it, and I don't know. I think that there could be a situation where it's hot and everything else is a super long line, and I'm like, you know what, whatever, put me in the tiki room, and I have a good time.
I think this is one that got ruined by an experience with
Yeah.
me.
Mm.
Okay, that's
We had
fair.
a woman just like opera singing the whole song, like the
Wow.
entire show, start to finish next to us, like full out. Like, I mean, living her best life, but didn't
Having fun.
enhance our tiki room experience.
No.
Yeah, like I
Fair
feel like for us, like this is one that we've done maybe once together.
Yeah, I've only done it, I think, one time, period.
And then I did it like a couple times on my college program when it was just like so busy and the only thing that I could possibly do was the tiki room. And I sat in there like, and kind of like Tommy said, where it was like so hot, and I sat there and I just like listened, and it was great. But I feel like it's just like there's other shows at this park specifically that I would have higher than this one, but it's
Mhm.
not like horrible, but it's just not great to me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see how like people, it's a classic.
Yeah, a
People will
classic.
like it. Like I can see that and I respect that.
Yeah, I wish that they would have Stitch come and take ours over. I think that
That's
would
what I
be
was gonna
fun.
say. I think that's such a
Seriously.
fun little twist to have him pop up, do a little hula or whatever
Yeah.
with a ukulele, and then sink back down.
So I think part of it is like I think about what we could have that we don't have, and
That we
that makes
don't.
it drops it down
Fair
a
enough.
little
That
bit.
makes sense.
All right, rounding out Adventureland, we've got the Jungle Cruise.
Oh, okay. The Jungle Cruise. I will put it at 60.
Ooh, wow! I'm kind of stunned by that. I'm gonna say 80 for Jungle Cruise.
I'm gonna go 85 for Jungle Cruise for me.
I'm gonna go 83, so right around the both of you.
So we're all kind of the same. Why are you're so low on the Jungle Cruise?
I don't know. I feel like I have to be in the mood for Jungle Cruise, and it also is like very heavily dependent on the skipper.
Yeah, skipper dependent.
And so I think because of that, I put it a bit lower because like, and sometimes like it can be quite a long line too. So if you wait in line and then you get on and your skipper is not like the best,
Yeah.
then like maybe that reduces your experience. I don't know. I think for me, it's something that I didn't ride or like go on till like later on after a few Disney trips. So it wasn't like that first
True.
must do. But I will say I like it was fun to do it at Christmas when it had
It
like,
really
the
was.
Christmas
Jungle
ride.
Cruise is my favorite ride.
Definitely an
Yeah.
improvement. Yeah.
Super good.
So I don't know. It seems a bit low when I rank it, but it was just my
That
gut.
makes sense.
So how to go
No,
with
it's
it.
good, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I'm kind of higher, like you guys with like the 80 number, because I feel like it's a fun one, very classic. But also when you do have a good skipper, I think that it's probably higher than an 80. So I kind of factored in like in between if I had to put like a middle, if it's like a medium kind of range. I just think that again, it's classic and fun. I laugh lots on it, and I think it just kind of is a cool, unique experience riding a boat around with like I don't know.
And I think that not only the skipper, I think the people on the boat.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, and
That's
like
so cool.
obviously it's a huge tourist destination. There's a language barrier sometimes between the skipper telling the jokes and then the audience, and I
Yeah.
think that's tough. Like there's things that can't translate if it's literally in a different language, and
For
I
sure.
think so. Like
Mhm.
if everyone's laughing, I think it's easier for you to laugh with them.
Yes.
Where like if everyone's just kind of staring at him and like looking at the animatronics or her, it's a little harder to get like let yourself get those corny jokes and like really let them get under your skin in a positive way and make you laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Jungle Cruise has a huge variance. Like the ceiling is really high. Like there's sometimes where I go on and have like a blast. It's almost like watching like a comedy in like a theater, and when everyone's like sort of enjoying it and buying in, you can have a really good time. But there are definitely other times where maybe the crowd's not into it or the skipper's just having an off day, which is like totally understandable. Where
Yeah.
you're kind of just like like not really doing it.
All right. So that rounded out Adventureland. I think we had I was surprised by some.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Seriously.
But the next stop on our walk around Disney is Frontierland, which doesn't have a ton.
Nice.
It definitely took some hits recently.
Yeah.
For sure.
Going through the list, there's no
Seriously.
more Splash Mountain on there, but soon it'll be Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just super recently, Country Bear Jamboree is being rethemed, so it can't be on the list.
Mixed feelings. Mixed
Wow.
feelings.
So the first one we have here, and this is in multiple locations, but I left it with Frontierland because the first place I saw it was the Walt Disney World Railroad.
Nice.
Is that like the thing
Like
that
riding the
drives
train
around?
around. Yeah, yeah.
The one
Yeah.
from
Okay.
you can get on at Main Street and then ride all the way.
Yes. So I've only done this once on my like first trip when I was a child, so I honestly don't really remember. I will say 20.
Wow.
Whoa.
And also I'll preface this by saying that for the first couple of times, I think that it was closed in like
Yeah.
It was closed for a
2021,
long time.
When they
2022
did
for a
all that
while.
Tron renovation, it was closed.
Was closed. I'm gonna say this is an 86.
Okay.
I'm going high.
Sorry.
No, it's your gut reaction. It's what you feel. I'm going 74. It's definitely nostalgic for me, but I also think that there's some interesting parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going 67. I think the Frontierland stretch, like after you go through Frontierland Station, is the best stretch of it. If the other sort of sections of the track were as engaging to me as this one, I think I would have it higher. But some of them kind of fall flat as you get further around the track. So not too high for me.
And I think depending on what Disney is going to do with some land back there, it might make for a more interesting train ride eventually. We'll see what they have to tell us later in August
I
this year.
agree.
But
Yeah, that'd be
That's
super
true.
cool.
Yeah, like I don't know why that I have this one high. Like I just think that again, it's one of those things. It's kind of like the same to me as like the Skyliner, where I could ride this when it's like busy and be kind of like satisfied as I got like a little bit of Disney to me. I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes any sense, but I just think that it's kind of cool to like go to the station and like ride a train. I just think it's kind of a unique thing.
Okay, well, I haven't done this,
I
so I'm
wasn't trying
just
to
going
attack you.
off of
That-
my gut.
that
Really?
wasn't an
Judging your
attack.
pick?
No.
Everyone's like, "This is the best thing ever." I'm like 20. Get this out of
20.
here.
No,
Is it
Rip
your
on the
lowest
railroad.
one so far, Heidi?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it and see. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I rated
No, I
the
get it.
walk.
If someone
Now you
just like,
have to go on
hey,
Swiss Family
You have
Treehouse
to
because
do
you rated it
Swiss.
higher than the
Yeah.
railroad.
Pirates of the
seriously.
Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, or a train. Like I get the 20 if
Yeah.
you haven't ridden it. Like that makes sense to me.
I feel like I have to ride it.
You gotta
and
get on
I'll
it.
probably like it more.
Yeah.
But it's got
Yeah,
reaction.
it's also very Walt centric. Like he
Yeah.
was a big
It is.
train guy, so
Definitely gives off the vibes.
yeah. All right. Another way more fun transportation, different railroad is the Big Thunder Railroad.
Yes. 95.
That's what I was gonna say. 95. It's
I
very
was gonna
high.
go 92.
Yeah, I'm at 94.
Nice.
Look at us. Highest so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite like a sort of elite top tier attraction throughout Walt Disney World, but I think it's like just slightly below that sort of upper
I agree.
echelon.
And I definitely think I'm being a little harsh. Like
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
looking at that
surprised,
92
yeah.
and I was like, oh, maybe not, but that was my gut reaction.
You just gotta go with your gut.
It's just like so good. And I think this is one ride where like your like time that you ride it during the day versus at night, totally different experience. At
Mhm.
night, like it feels like you're actually gonna fall out of the like train onto the track and be left there. Whereas like during the day, like it's still quick, but it's just not as fast. And it's one of those where like I know that roller coasters feel that way, but this one for some reason I love that it's like pretty long as well. And I just think that it's kind of like a fun coaster that you could kind of have like in between, you know what I mean? Of like if you don't want to ride like a super thrilling one like a Tron, maybe this one's a better one for like people to kind of get like introduced into coasters.
Yeah, especially if you sit at the front. I was thinking like when I was ranking, like I thought about like what would I change about it, and I don't really know like if there any
Yeah, what
is
you
there
could change.
if there is actually anything that I would change.
True.
So that's why I think I rated it so high, because I was like, what would I change about it? Nothing really.
Yeah, I think
it's- yeah.
I think that it'll be interesting to see when you ride Disneyland's Big Thunder. Because there are small elements that I would definitely take from that if we could put it at Disney World.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I-
that would be nice.
I also really love the location of Big Thunder, like how it sits right on the water there. I think it is just like a sort of a unique area, sort of tucked away, and there might be stuff developed back there, but for the time being, it kind of is just it opens up into grass and water and trees. It's kind of just a nice little break while you're on the railroad.
Yeah, our next one, actually, one of the big selling points is that you can see Big Thunder, everybody coming around that track, and it's Tom Sawyer Island, which I don't know. Have you guys been to Tom Sawyer Island before?
No.
No.
And you haven't,
Me
right?
neither,
I'm
yeah,
the
me neither.
only one.
Wow. This is something that also I've wanted to do because I don't really actually know like what it entails completely. So I'm going to say 25.
This one's kind of tough because again, I feel like to me it's on the same kind of level as the treehouse, but probably not as much of like a trek or effort put into it, and you get to ride like a fun little boat across. So I'll say 22, a little bit higher than the treehouse.
I'm going to go 48. I
Nice.
have been, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'm going 36. I haven't done it, but you kind of rave about it relative to
do.
sort of what the expectation is. So I got to give it a little bit of a bump, but yeah.
Yeah, I can give my piece a little bit since I'm
Yeah,
the
go
only
for
one
it.
that's been on it.
Yeah.
So like Brandon said, you go over on like a little riverboat, like a little raft, which is nice. But it is like once you if you're stuck over there in the rain, like you're stuck. Like they've got to get you back over. But it seems like there's not a whole lot going on. But there's like a ton of like caverns and caves, and you can go down in them. It's like a little spooky. Like I'm not a huge fan of the dark, and some of it like gets pretty dark and tight. But there's also this little platform, and it has a couple rocking chairs, and you can sit, like, drink your coffee that you bought at Joffrey's and go over and like watch people ride Big Thunder. I think it definitely for like a a morning activity is nice. And they used to have like a food cart over there for days
I
that
was
it
gonna
got
ask that.
like
That'd be nice.
busy, and they had like a quick service place over there, which I think if they brought that back would be huge.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
like I've seen some things, which is probably rumors, that maybe kind of tying in like the princess and the frog of like a little like Dr. Facilier something over there, which kind of
Ooh.
fits. Again, like super rumor. But I just think like, yeah, maybe if they added something like you said, like a quick service or some kind of different element, I think it would be more enticing to people to go check out like what's actually over there.
Yeah, I
So
think
we'll
people
see.
just don't know that I think they just think it's like a bit of land. Like they don't think
Exactly.
that.
That it's nothing there.
I didn't know there was caves. I would want to go.
Yeah, there's like
There you go.
forts and stuff. Like,
I'm
yeah, it's cool.
You're going?
I'm upping my number. I'm going next time.
Okay.
All right. So that was it for Frontierland. Our next land doesn't have a whole ton going on either, and that's Liberty Square. So kind of meshes together with Frontierland there. The first one is Hall of Presidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Go
you
ahead.
go ahead. Like coming from Canadians, I was going to say this
Oh.
is
Yeah.
speaking on Canadian people giving this rating.
I don't know. I've never done it. Like 5.
Yeah.
I've also never done it at all, and honestly, again, I don't know if this is like an attack on America, but I just have no interest in doing it as a Canadian person because again, like certain things about it, but I'm going to say the same as the treehouse. I'll give it a 10.
I'm gonna go with Heidi with a 5. I have done it, and it is not something that I need to do again.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 12. It's the most like Walt Disney edutainment thing ever, and it's so boring. Like I guess it like might be kind of interesting if you come from another country and you want to like get a flash like history lesson, but like I don't know, I just don't see the appeal whatsoever.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure it's long.
Yeah, it is long.
Let's say
It's definitely long.
because my friends, the one day when my family came to visit, they said we're all going to tomorrow rope drop Hall of Presidents. Are you in? And I said, unfortunately, I am not in. My family's here, but also if I was also like free, I just wouldn't want to do that.
No.
Like they were like literally there when it rope dropped. They just opened. Like the cast members thought it was hilarious because who rope drops Hall of Presidents? They got like
There's like
buttons and
7
stuff.
people in every show.
Yes. Like, and they said it was very interesting as Canadian people. So I probably should check it out like at some point just to say that I've done everything, but it's never on my radar of like we walk past and go, oh, there's no wait, let's go do this. I'm not interested.
And like I think the animatronics are cool. I think that was like a big allure to it. Like
Right.
I think they were cool in the 1960s.
Yeah, the Abe Lincoln animatronic.
Lincoln.
Like I think he sits down and stands up, and I think that was like a big sell to it.
Yeah.
But now that we have like the shaman over in Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom, like
It's not even like an air conditioning play for me. There's just never a set of circumstances where I feel an urge to walk in those doors.
maybe if it's raining.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Hard-
It'd have to
Maybe.
be, like a hurricane.
Yeah, wait it out for 40 minutes or however
Yeah.
long the show
If
is.
the options are like Hall of Presidents or leave, it's a toss up.
Well, you have to get to the front of the park though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
true.
only thing. It's
That's true.
shelter. All right, next one is Liberty Square Riverboat.
That's the
That
big one, the big boat
Liberty Bell.
that has a nice horn on it
Where does that take you? Nowhere?
around the
I think it
little
just
river.
brings you around.
Does
Little
like a
loop?
little loop of the
Yeah.
island. Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever done it.
Yeah, I haven't done it clearly. Like, haven't even gone to Disney. 5 maybe.
I'm just gonna stick all of my ones that I haven't done that I don't think I want to do at a 10, just to be
Alright.
fair.
I think I'm interested in doing this. I think we've tried to go a couple times, and like they have weird hours.
Right.
I'm gonna go a 22.
Yeah, I like this one as park decoration more than I do, find it interesting as an attraction because I don't think I've done it either. I'm gonna go 27.
I'm
Right.
wondering though if it brings you back where you see like what you look at on that on the railroad. If you can go back there and
maybe.
kind of see.
I think it does, but I mean, just get on the train.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
kind of on this one with like Tommy, where I just like the like aesthetic of this boat being in the water and like having the horn go off when like I'm standing waiting for the parade versus actually like making the trip to go step on there and ride it. I just like that it's there for my like entertainment of like that
Your
it drives
viewing
past.
pleasure.
They could
Yeah.
keep it stationary with just someone on there to ring the bell every 45 minutes.
And I'm fine.
See, I could do
Perfect.
without the bell and just looking at it.
Yeah.
All right, the last one, and I think undoubtedly the best one of Liberty Square is Haunted Mansion.
I will say 85.
I'm gonna give this one a 90.
I think I'm going to go 91,
And I'm gonna go 87.
all
Nice.
in the same realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is our first ever attraction that myself and Heidi rode together.
Mhm.
Which,
What?
not that it has very like sentimental value, but I just think that again, this one is kind of like the same. I'm trying to think of like a comparison where it's kind of like an experience, right? Like the queue, which is like the stretching room, is very an experience. The cast member there kind of makes a difference. I remember we at Christmas time did it as like our final ride with you guys, and the cast member was so funny. There was nobody else there, and he was like, "Ho, ho, ho, welcome to the haunted," like, and it's just so funny to me. So I think that there's lots of like potential there with it, and I just think the like aesthetic of it being like creepy and dark and just everything about it, I think is very cool. So that's why for me it's a like in that 90 club.
Yeah, and I think when they changed the queue to be interactive, when they were kind of like rolling those out, like with like Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh and stuff,
Yeah.
where they were like, "Hey, kids are gonna be waiting in this line for a while. Let's give them something to do." I think like the water bubbling over and the like being able to play like the tombstones is pretty cool. And then like they've got the nods to the different rides, like the Pet Cemetery back there. So yeah, I think you're right that it's more than just like when you're in the Doom buggy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're into the land with the most rides. And some of the most heavy hitting rides is the last two lands. So this time we are moving on to Fantasyland. And we are going to go the ride that is right there next to Haunted Mansion when you pass Memento Mori, right across. And it's a small world first.
Interesting. 75.
Whoa.
Whoa, I'm gonna say 48.
Yeah, I'm going 32.
Yeah, I'll go 37.
Heidi, it's a miracle that we've been on these trips together.
I was just gonna say that I'm laughing at Heidi. It's like 75. I'm like, what?
Oh, okay. I don't really know. It just came to me that I wanted to put it at 75. I feel like it's a classic ride, and I personally like the song. Like, I think it's hilarious, and I like how they're like little dolls. Like, they look like little dolls, and it's like all the different countries. I don't know. I just like
That's
it.
fair. I think that like for me, Disneyland's version I will like more with the Disney element. So
Well,
I think for me that's something. But this one, I just think again we do it, but like if I didn't like do it on a trip, I would be fine. Is how I like look at it.
I think without the song, I'm loving it. I think it'd be like in the 70s to 80s for me. Or like if the song was just in the first and last room, but I think just the constant hearing of the song is just too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the song, but I don't even think the song is what ruins it. I just don't think that it's that like I don't think it's
just hate it.
exciting. I do kind of hate it. Like I don't know. Like I think the whole-
37.
yeah, because I'll give it some points, and I like the staging area. This is like kind of a weird thing to like about it, but I think like the half inside, half outside boat
Mhm.
staging area is like cool to look at, and you can see it from
Yeah.
Pinocchio Village House, which I like. But the moment to moment, like it's not even like you're looking around and like Pirates, the animatronics are like dated, but they're still cool and interesting. Like
Right.
the animatronics, like I said, would have
Just
been
the
cool.
hula girl.
Yeah, they would have been cool in 1965, and they're just like not. I don't know. They're just a long time
The
ago.
hippo
I
with
just-
the stuck eye.
Yeah,
I was just gonna. I was just
art
about to
design I
add,
like. It's like
my two
it's just
favorites
outdated. I think.
is like the Blinky hippo and the like. There's the different hula girls. Like some of them go faster, other ones don't. It's just that kind of adds to the charm. But still, Heidi, I don't know. 75.
I didn't know you were such a fan.
All the power
I
to
don't
you.
know. It's hard when I have to pick the first number because I feel
You don't
like
have anyone to gauge
and
with.
No,
I
it's
just have to
funny.
say it right away. Like I can't think about it.
Right. That makes
So
sense. That's
I
fair.
like it. I like the doll look of them, and I think it's fun to like try to guess like what countries the dolls are
You do
from
you.
and stuff.
That's
Okay,
good.
I'll just write it myself next time.
No, I think most people do like it. I think
Yeah,
this
me
is like
too.
more of an unpopular opinion. I'm
The
kind
true
of-
Disneyers really like it.
Yeah, I think I kind of
Yeah.
stand.
There
you
on
go,
one
Heidi.
end of not really enjoying it. So.
Yeah. And I am interested to see the opinions of Disneyland's.
The Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, we haven't. Brandon and I haven't been to Disneyland,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we'll remedy that soon.
Mhm.
All right. Next is we're kind of going all over the place here. Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. So this is the dark ride of the Little Mermaid back in New Fantasyland.
I'll say 30.
Wow. I'm gonna say no, because I just feel like I'm every time opposite of what
I'm
Heidi
just
is.
getting hated on in this
I'm at-
ranking.
I'm at a 75.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 62.
Yeah, I'm going 59.
Wow. I'm the highest one of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about it. I think
Yeah,
though
big
where
Little Mermaid fan. over here.
no, I'm not. It's funny. I'm not. I'm not a Little Mermaid fan. I just think again, I like the cue of it. I like the theming. I like how bright, like and colorful it is in there. I do like the songs. I love the Ursula animatronic. I will say it's
Mhm.
cool. The only knock that I have on this, which I saw like a TikTok of it, and now every time that I go, I can't not see, is that it just like looks like you're in a warehouse with hanging stuff there, like from like the Little Mermaid. So now that I see that, I'm kind of like, oh, like they maybe could have done a better job to hide that there's just stuff hanging from the ceiling. But
Yeah.
like,
That
it's a
big
fun
where
little-
they're like
I
the
like-
under the sea scene.
I like
Yes.
the end of the sea scene, but it is very much you're just in a big rectangular room.
and like you can
Fish
see the
warehouse.
carts on the other side. Like
Yeah.
that I definitely always think takes away from it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I guess that I kind of just think it's a nice little break, low weight, and it is like just a classic like dark ride, which I'm a big fan of a dark, slow moving ride.
And
Yeah.
the queue has the ultimate hidden Mickey.
Yes.
It has the only on Walt's birthday where the sun aligns.
Oh,
You can
yeah,
see
yeah.
that the outline of that hidden Mickey.
Crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh
Cool.
yeah. But I do think the queue definitely gives it some points. They've got to update the animatronics in there. That
Some of
in
them are
the
bad.
under the sea part, Ariel is struggling.
Yeah.
Well, I just kind of thought about it like as well, like the wedding scene with Eric and Ariel. And for those on YouTube, I'm gonna try to do it, but where it's just like the blinking as well is very like, and they're waving, and I feel like again, maybe now that I look at it, I'm like a 75 seems high, but that's my gut
Yeah,
reaction,
75,
like you.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite of the
Dark
dark rides where you
rides.
sit in the
No.
shell, but it's all right. I think I like it enough.
All right. Next one is a fan favorite. Always a high wait time. Peter Pan's Flight.
Hmm. I will say 93.
I'm going 90 also. I'm in the 90 club on this one.
I'm gonna go 78.
Yeah, I'm right there at a 77.
Nice.
Pretty
think-
high.
Yeah, this one has points for me. It was my first ever ride that I rode as a kid, but I also just think I know that it gets like a lot of hate because the wait is so long, but I think this is one of the rides along with like Runaway Railway to me where like it feels very Disney, like even
Mhm.
from the cast member doing like the little sprinkle, and it feels like you're flying. And I love seeing like Nana and like the brighter colors when it's a bit like dark in there. I do think it is very short,
Yeah.
but yeah, for me, like this is one that I would be sad if I didn't do it.
Yeah, I agree. And I also like how it's like different. Like the track, since it's up above, like that's something that no other ride does. So that's why I feel like I ranked it so high. And I think it's just cute because it's Peter Pan.
I think this queue, when it updated as well, added a ton.
Super good.
The
Mhm.
queue is almost like an additional ride, like when you can get in and like kind of like chase around Tinkerbell and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there are a few moments of this that I like really, really love, but yeah, throughout I just do think it's a little short. But like that original, like the first transition when you start flying and you leave the bedroom and it's like London below you, like that's super cool. And then going over some of like the pirate ship
And you get
scenes and
talking
stuff like
there.
that. But I do think that it just, I don't know, it is just not quite long enough maybe, or not quite involved enough to like really get up there. But I still enjoy it a lot. And you know, if we can snag a lightning lane for
Yeah.
it, I'll hop on.
or
But
End of the Night is a good ride
yeah,
too.
that
For
wait
sure.
time gets up there.
Yeah.
All right, next is Mickey's Philhar Magic.
I will say 90.
94.
I'm gonna go 92.
I'll go 90 on the dot.
It's
A
high.
fan favorite. And I got the hat on for
Wow.
those watching on YouTube from Magical Castle Embroidery. Had to wear this one again because I knew this would come up. This is one of those that I think is kind of like slept on, and I don't really know why. Like most times there's people in there, but I think it's more of like a kid attraction that like families go to, whereas people like us, like adults who love Disney, I think don't really talk about this enough. This one's so good. Like they updated like the 3D, the new Coco scene's great. I love the elements. I love that it's like centered around like Donald. Like essentially this is like his attraction,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. There's no really other Donald like attractions at all. I
Yeah.
just think this is like a really cool, unique one, even though it is like just like a 3D show.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me. This is like my ride. I love this
Yeah.
ride. And I agree. I think that there's like never anybody in it. I think people don't really know that. I think the front queuing section is so open and nobody's ever in it because it has such a big inside queue that like it looks closed. Like if you don't know that
Mhm.
it's an attraction, it just like it doesn't look open from outside, especially when they still had the old fast pass things and they would
Yeah.
cover them up. Like it looked like it was like boarded up and closed. But I think like you said, updating the 3D because it used to make me a little sick because
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive to like VR, anything that gives you like it messes with your vision. But the updated one, so if that was deterring you before, they've definitely changed it and it's great. It's my favorite.
Yeah, we've talked about a couple that like give you like the Disney magic, and I think this is the one where I get that the most. And it, it's obviously because you get a lot of the music, you get a lot of the characters, but between that and like the fun 3D, I just think it's like a great way to sit and hang out and spend 10 minutes or whatever, and you just you do get that sort of full force of all the best scenes from the best Disney movies and stuff like that. So
All right. Next, right outside of the doors of this is Prince Charming's Regal Carousel. My goodness.
A tongue twister.
That's the carousel.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the carousel.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that being said, the carousel.
The one with the horses.
45.
Yeah, like I'll say 40.
I'm going to go 60.
and I'll go 50 on this one.
I feel like this one was hard for me to rank because like I think that when I go on it, like it feels like Disney. And so I like that part of it, but like it's something that like I wouldn't necessarily go on like every single time and need it to be like a part of my trip. But then I also think too, like once we have kids and stuff like that, I feel like
That's a good
that will
one.
be a ride where it'll be like really magical.
Yeah, like I think that it's also just one of those. I think kind of like the same. We kind of talked about this earlier. I feel like that like a time of day thing would be cool with this one, where like
True.
there's got to be certain points in the day where this one like feels kind of elevated. Maybe it's like at night when it's like darker or when there's kind of like nobody there. I just feel like it's kind of hard with this one where it's in like the central kind of hub of like Fantasyland that it's so busy, like, and there's like kids everywhere that I feel like awkward as some 6'10" tall man waiting in line for the carousel. I
He's
just
not
think,
exaggerating.
no,
Yeah.
yes, being very honest. Where like I'm gonna hop on that horse and there'll be some kid beside me and I'll go, hey, how's it going? And it's like we're riding this horse together. So I think for me, this is like a time and place for me to enjoy, if that makes sense.
But I was going to touch on that too. I kind of like that aspect because they have the benches. So like you've got like really little kids, like babies can go on
Yeah.
with their parents as long as someone's holding them. And then you can get like older people, grandparents can go on with them sitting on the benches. So I think it really does like tie in everybody together with the magic, which I think kind of sells it for me.
That's
That's
cute,
fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like just a carousel, right? Like it's not anything sort of out of the ordinary, anything specific to Disney. But I think the location and the accessibility really provides like a lot of that Disney magic and makes it something that's worth doing.
And it's super Walt focused. Like that was
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
he was
Yeah,
It's like
that's
his
what
origination
inspired
of it.
right?
Yep.
Fingerprints all over that one for sure.
Yep. All right. The next one we have is the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Mhm. 70.
I'm gonna say 80.
Just gonna go 83.
67.
And this one used to be Pooh's Blustery Day, which was
Yep.
one of my
It's
favorites.
a funny title, yeah.
But now, yeah, the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I feel like it's like has a lot of elements inside of it. Like you start out, and then when you end up in the room with the heffalumps and woozles,
Mhm.
it's like a totally different experience. And then everyone's like happy and floating along at the end.
Yeah, like I like this one. I think for me, like I love like Winnie the Pooh. I was like a big Winnie the Pooh kid where I had like every stuffed animal. Like I just loved Winnie the Pooh. And I feel like for me that, like you said, there's so many elements to this. I love like the Tigger little room where you're kind of like bouncing and he pops up around. I love, like you said, like the water at the end where they're all kind of like helping each other. And I just think this is like, again, one of those where I feel very like Disney. It's like a little bit, I guess, like less of a weight than Peter Pan. It's like usually like a 35 or maybe. But don't ever touch the honey wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yuck. You got lots of little kids with little germs and little hands.
Yes. And if you want to do it because you feel the urge, don't actually touch it. Hover your hand and you can still, it still works for you. Because I know sometimes people get the urge to like see what's under there. I'm just like putting this out there. for people that maybe don't know. Don't touch the honey
Cast
wall.
member
Yeah,
hat.
that's a good trick.
Things to avoid in Disney World episode.
The honey
Yeah.
wall is pretty high up there for me, I think.
Seriously.
I feel like it's the one that most just children are touching as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you don't always know where those hands have been.
Grubby little fingers.
Coming from a first grade teacher, I will tell you. All right. After that, we have Mad Tea Party.
Hmm. Like 45, maybe.
I'll say 30.
A 2.
That's true. I'm going 46.
It's a 2 for me.
I
46.
feel like 45 for me because it's one of those, to me it feels like a Disney ride. Even though it's not even intricate at all and it's just like spinning the cups, I feel like just like the theming around it and the music, like it just gives Disney to me. But I don't know, and it's just fun. I don't know, but I wouldn't ride it all the time. I don't really know where my rankings are coming from, to be honest.
We
No,
also
it's all good.
like I don't think that we've done this recently at all, and I also just think that it's because I don't really fit too well in there. I feel like to get like
Yeah.
both of us in there is kind
I'd
of
have
tough.
to think
Like
your knees are just up on the spinning wheel.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
feel again for me, this is one like I gotta have like a full stomach, but not too full, and like very hydrated. Like I don't get very sick often, but this to me seems like one that when I would get in there with Heidi, she'd be spinning it really fast and trick me into doing it. So I'm not too sure on that one.
Sometimes when the 4 of us go to the parks, Brandon and I have to send Heidi and Tommy on rides together because
Yeah.
we just can't stomach them. And this
No.
feels like one of those.
I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. Me and Tommy will go.
This and Mission Space.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
Mission Space.
I think Tea Party could be a fun one to like if you had a group that was fully into it, you could hop on and have a good time. But
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't really stand out to me as something that draws me in, you know, whatsoever. So
All right. Going over to a less intense ride is Dumbo the Flying Elephant.
Mhm. I will say Dumbo is an 85.
Wow. I'm gonna say 65.
I'm going to go 50.
I'm gonna go 72.
Whoa.
I don't think I've ever done it. I just think it's like the cutest little ride ever in the cutest little area of the park. It's just
Yeah, the ride vehicles, like the carts, are really cute.
They are
Yeah.
really cute.
Yeah. I
yeah,
feel
this
like-
is
Go ahead, Tommy.
I was gonna say this is my number one spinny one and I've never been on it. I just think it is so adorable.
I agree. I feel like it's Disney. Like to me,
Yeah,
this is like what they show in the ads. Like
it is.
the children with their parents on Dumbo.
Know about it.
And that I think it was my first ride that I did at Disney. And like in my head, I always have just thought like Disney is that ride. So that's why I
That
rank it
makes
high.
sense.
I don't know. I know there's like nothing to it really. It's just spinning, but because it's Dumbo, I think it's cute.
Yeah, like and it is a very like classic, well-known one. People know it. And
Mhm.
I just think for me, like after doing the magic carpets one, I feel like I like that one just like a little bit better because of like the tilting, like the spitting camel where I can get like shot in the face by a camel spit at like any moment is kind of funny to me. And I don't really know. Like I think again, like for me, I feel like this is the one where we have like a good time every time me and you, we just like sit
Mhm.
on there chill. So I guess maybe I could have like a little bit higher, but it is a fun one.
I think for me, if this were put where the teacups were,
Yeah.
it would be way higher up. I think because it's kind of tucked back and like when you're on it, you can't really look at anything.
True.
Because I do think that this is probably my favorite spinny ride. But I just think the location isn't great.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it is.
It
like
fits
kinda-
the theme, but
Yeah.
I think that it would be better if there was like a view or like it was like more of like a centralized area.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mhm.
All right, our next one is a heavy hitter. It's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
I will say 92.
I'll say 85.
It's gonna go 86.
Yeah, I'm at 83.
This
This is one that I feel like we do often together.
that's what I was trying
Yeah.
to say. This is one that we do often together, and one that I don't love like the fit of for a 6'10" tall man. Where I have to like really like every time it's like tuck one leg, put the other one over, sit down, and give me some time. I am like thankful that it's not as long for that, but I do think it is very short. I
Mhm.
do like the cart swinging element, but this is like I think like the 4 of our go-to, like close the park right before park close, get in line for this one. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's the move, and I feel like there's good memories with that. So like it's a good attraction. I just think that it's just not as long. as it should be, maybe
Yeah,
like the ride.
that's why that's like the only thing that I would change about it, I think, is just make it longer. I love like the swing elements of it, and I love like when you're in the mine and like going up. Like I think there's so many like good parts of it. If it just had like a little bit more, then it would be like perfect.
And I agree. I am not a little person. I'm not super tall, but
Right.
even the fit for me sometimes, like, because my legs are very long, is difficult. And I think that really takes away, because I think I like am thinking about that for the beginning, like 20 seconds of the ride. And then you have like, what, 20 more seconds, and then the ride is over.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I agree with those qualms as well. But I think that the queue is great. I think it's super cute. The animatronics at the end are great.
So good.
Yeah. I think this is one that I kind of like underrate every single time, and then we ride it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was pretty fun. But I do think there are enough like shortcomings between the size of the vehicle and the length of the ride that kind of hold it back. But it is fun. Like it's a good time, and definitely worth doing.
On the path of short, we have the Barnstormer.
The Barnstormer. I'll say 2.
Oh, I gotta say 30.
Yeah, I was gonna go, I don't know, 27.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 19.
It is so short.
So short.
It's painful. Like I just remember the one time I wrote it, like I was like, this is painful. Like I don't know what was painful about it, but if it was just like I didn't fit in there properly, I don't remember, but it was uncomfy.
Well,
Might be that it's made for 5-year-olds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last time we went, I really wanted to do it just because it's something I hadn't done since I was like a tiny child, and I was like, yeah, like it'll be cute and fun, like whatever. The line's never very long, and now it's like it's way too small, it's way too short. It's just not it's not built for an adult man, I suppose.
No, and it's also one that I think if like all of us do, it's like we take up a whole plane, because there's
Oh, yeah.
we each have our own little
Do you fit
thing.
on it?
Yes, alone, specifically with my
Oh.
legs. Really, it's almost like I'm crisscross applesauce.
Ooh.
Sitting there in this one, and it is very short. What I will say that I love about this one is I find it hilarious how many hats and ears
I was
are
just gonna
scattered
say
around.
that.
Yeah,
It's so funny to me that it's like a short little kid coaster, but the amount of like adult hats I'm sure that are everywhere all over is so funny to
souvenir
me.
graveyard. Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say that because it's like mouse trappy. So I think that like
Yeah.
it does whip around those corners, and like when you look at it, it's very unsuspecting, and they're like, oh, I don't have to take my hat or glasses off, and then
Yeah.
whoop.
And like they like the cast member tells you, and people will like probably go, yeah, okay, and then next thing they know, their hats behind the fence on the grass.
Yep. And it is like the fence is like it's like a courtyard, so you can just see
Yeah.
all of them as you leave the ride.
As you exactly as you exit, it's
so
like, oh, look
funny.
at all these souvenirs.
All right, our last one for Fantasyland is definitely more of an attraction than a ride, but it is Enchanted Tales with Belle.
Oh yes. I haven't done that.
No, me neither.
I will say 25 because I don't know.
I'm gonna give this one a bit higher than my other ones that I haven't done. At a 10, I'll give this one a 25 as well.
I'm gonna give this one a 42.
yeah. I
Mm.
haven't done this one either. I don't think. I'm gonna give it a 21. Has room for room to
Yes,
grow though, because I
that's
think
how I
there are
feel.
definitely scenarios where you do it and it's like, yeah, this is so much fun. But yeah, as an aforementioned adult man, I just don't know how much.
I'm
This is gonna
shocked
do
you
for
haven't
me.
done it.
Yeah, I don't. When would we have done it? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
Well-
Maybe we got in line to meet Belle. I thought the four of us
We met
did
Belle,
it.
but we didn't.
So
do the
we,
Enchanted
like,
Tales.
Yeah, like I know that like during the pandemic it was closed, and then when the parks opened, they then used that when they weren't doing shows. It was like a Belle meet and greet
Mhm.
where you could just go in her little cottage and meet Belle instead. I haven't done this because I feel like this is very family focused, kind of how I feel
Yep.
about like Turtle Talk. I would love to do Turtle Talk, but then I feel like if I go in there alone, it's like I should have a child with me to go do
Crush
Turtle
is
Talk.
gonna look for your
Yeah,
son
If
to
Crush
talk
asks you a
to.
question, everyone's gonna be like, "Why is this man taking my
Exactly.
kids' questions from?"
Yeah.
Like, and I've been told that if I go do it, I'll like for sure be picked as like a knight or guard or whatever. They always pick like the big man. So I just like don't want to go in there alone or with like me and Heidi with like no child and then get chosen as like a knight or a
Yeah,
guard.
get roped
Yeah,
into
that was
performing, yeah.
we went with my dad and he got chosen. But it was like, so if you don't know me, I'm super nosy. Like I like want to know whatever's going on. And so the walls were up. This had just been built. And we didn't know what it was. But I like watched people go behind these walls. And so I was like, hey, like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, do you want to come back and like do this experience? And we're like, yeah, sure. And so we got to do it kind of before just because I was being a nosy Nancy. But yeah, my
So
dad got
funny.
like picked as one of the like sentry guards or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it definitely is something that I would hope that the cast members would pick families and not
For sure.
us, but
Yeah.
you never know.
I again just feel awkward with anything that seems more child focused when if it's like the four of us and we're like, haha, like we walk
Dang.
in, it's like I just feel like this is not our place to be. So
No.
hopefully one day
When
we'll
we have
have
kids,
we'll have
we'll take
kids and
our
I'll for
kids
sure.
and-
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, whoever has kids first will just use them so we can
Yeah.
go on all the
Yeah.
experiences.
We'll have the
Simba.
newborn. Yeah, it'll just be a baby. We're like, oh, we're here with the baby.
Yeah, just to make memories, their memories, not
Yeah.
ours. All right, well, that wrapped up Fantasyland, and our last land is Tomorrowland. And starting with a bit of a literal stinker is Tomorrowland Speedway.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Never done this. 12.
I'm giving this my lowest and I'm giving like a 5.
I'm gonna give this one a 1.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 6.
I
As
think
far-
this is toss it out.
It
I
takes
was
up
gonna
so
say,
much
as-
space, I feel like, too.
Yeah, like as far as I'm concerned, just give us something there, which is a lot of land, like seriously.
Less pollution, more land. Come on.
And like you guys had said earlier that the Disneyland one is significantly somehow better.
Yeah, I don't really know how.
Well, I think it's the track. The track at Tomorrowland
Yeah.
Speedway is just like a pretty straightforward like racetrack. It's not very
It
exciting.
goes like a little bit.
There's some
back.
like but Autopia, the one in Disneyland, has like you're going through like trees, and I
mountainous.
think there's some more inclines, and there's like
Yeah.
foliage around, so it's just a more scenic, like weird go-kart ride. But
Yeah.
Tomorrowland Speedway, I have no time for it. It takes up so much valuable real estate.
Yeah, it just and like Magic Kingdom just doesn't have the availability for that. Like there's
That's
just
my
not
thing.
space for anything.
No, and also like they need again, which is why Tron was built, was like another big heavy hitting thing to eat up the crowd.
Yeah.
And I feel like this does not eat up the crowd. And if there was something else there, it would. Like, there was rumors of like a Wreck-It Ralph thing and all these things, but it's like I think they just got to kind of bite the bullet. And I know it's a classic, but I will be like pretty stunned if there's people chaining themselves to the Speedway.
Yeah, I mean if we can get Splash Mountain and Country Bears at least rethemed, there's no way that this should be hanging on.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel that quintessentially Disney to me personally. It feels like something you could find at an amusement park in like Canton, Ohio. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it just doesn't stick.
No
with me.
offense to Ohioans out
I was
there.
just going to say, if anybody listening's from Ohio, I know nothing
nothing
about
wrong.
Ohio, but
Pro
no.
Football Hall of Fame. I want to go to Canton, Ohio. It's not Disney World.
Yeah,
love
I
it.
agree. And I think it was from the time where there were sponsorships at Disney. I think
For
that
sure.
it's still like enterprise sponsored the same way like one of our attractions that's coming later was sponsored.
Yeah.
And if they're not paying the bills, get it out of here.
I agree. And also, like we said, there's so much space. And for something that maybe and I know people hate on IP in the parks, but I think there are a lot of like futuristic kind of that style of IP that could be put there for sure.
And it's kind of still on the cusp. Like you could really cut Tomorrowland off if you
Yeah.
didn't like it's so close to the teacups that I feel
Yeah.
like you could kind of go either way.
Agree.
All right, probably enough discussion about the Speedway. Next in Tomorrowland is Space Mountain.
Oh, Space Mountain. This is a hard one for me to rank. I will say 45.
This one's hard for me. I'm going to preface this again where I can't do this one. So this is one for me where I'm all leg. I'm worried about it. So I feel like this isn't an appropriate ranking. I'm sure of what I've heard, it's great or whatever, like kind of middle, but I'm going to say like 20.
I'm also going to go 45.
I'm gonna go 74. I think that the biggest hindrance is the fact that it was clearly built for when people were just smaller. Like
Yeah.
people have just
Yeah.
gotten bigger. over the
Men were
years, like-
averaging 5'6".
Yeah, nutrition
Yeah.
is like better. Like people are they're getting larger, and I think that this ride has really showed that. Where, like, I'm not a massive individual and really in any sense, pretty average sized person, and it's super uncomfortable to get in there most of the time. So like, I can't imagine for people who are, taller or bigger than I am. So
I also think that after going on Disneyland's, this one it takes a hit.
yeah, Disneyland's it's a
Superior.
it's insane. Like the difference is really, really stark.
I feel pretentious always being like, whoa, when we went to Disneyland. But soon we'll be able to have some shared experiences.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we'll be saying the same thing. I feel like this one is weird because I like going on it, but then sometimes I really don't like going on it. Like if I'm not in the mood, it feels like my back is just gonna get blown out at any second. And like I feel very stressed when I ride this ride. Like unless I'm in the mood to be like, woo, I don't know. Like I have to be like loosey goosey, maybe like drink Joffrey's in the
Go
morning.
to a
and,
Night
like,
Blossom first.
yeah,
I've
like
been
you know,
here.
something like that, and then I'm fine. But if I'm not in the right mindset, I sit there and I'm just like, please, like my back be fine. Not like I don't know why. I just think that the whole time because it really jolts you. Like it feels like you're gonna get a concussion at any second. So that's the only
Yeah.
thing. But I love like the space
like,
aspect. I
It
love
feels
space.
like one of those things you have to love. Like,
Yeah.
like if you
As a
like
Disney
Disney, you
person.
have to say that you like this. But I agree that like I think the thought is better than the actual ride,
Yeah.
and I hate the queue.
If they just made it a bit smoother, like imagine it was like Guardian smooth, then like
Well,
ooh, love it.
If only.
Yeah.
I think for me with this one, again, I don't really think that I fit in it, and I haven't tried
No,
since I was in high
barely fit
school.
in it.
And I like have no interest in even sitting in there to try. But I like know when I was going to Disney in high school, a teacher at my high school said to me, "Oh, you'll have like a great time. Do not ride Space Mountain." And I said, "Oh, like I had thought about it where I rode it in 2007. This was going to be, I guess, like 2012 maybe." And I was like, "Okay." And then he said, "Don't do it because you'll come home like this." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I've honestly been kind of
He
traumatized
implied
about it
that for all the listeners, he implied that his head would no longer be attached.
because I'm too tall. And then I kind of thought about it where like me and Heidi are the same sitting down,
Yes.
but also my legs are just too long. So for me,
It's
it's
the
just not
legs.
going to happen.
People,
No, I mean,
they're-
yeah, my legs are uncomfortable, and you're significantly taller than I am.
Yeah.
whenever people say that Disney's not making a ride,
No, I
their
know.
engineers are letting you
Of
get
course
so
not.
close that you're gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah, you have to
No,
be a
but I
literal
just-
giraffe.
Yeah, that's
like
yeah.
there's a big gap.
I know
Yeah,
that,
I
but
mean,
I'm just saying.
you can put your hands up on that
Yeah.
ride, and they're not coming anywhere close. Well, that's not true, but they are not hitting a bar.
No.
So for me, it's all the leg. So haven't
Yeah.
done it. in a
No,
long time.
I'm 6'1" and my legs like barely fit in there, so
Yeah.
I don't think that it would work.
The next one in Tomorrowland we have is Astro Orbiter.
Oh yeah, I did this one
You did.
on our last trip. I will say 18.
I'm gonna stick with my theme of ones that I haven't done in like my adulthood or young adulthood, and I'm gonna say 10 again.
This one's a 7 for me.
This one kind of surprised me. I'm gonna go 51. I think
Wow.
that like I have like a mild fear of heights, and this one is just high enough to like give me a sense of exhilaration from being that high above the ground, and kind of the way that the ride is set up, it kind of extends you over the ground where it doesn't really feel like you're like above a building. It kind of feels like you're out in the air. And I think that sort of sense of not danger, but like fake danger is something that is not in abundance at Walt Disney World. So I have to sort of take it where I can get it. It's not something I would ride all the time, but I think I'd ride it and my heart would be beating a little bit fast, primarily due to my fear of heights. But you know, it counts for something.
I want to do this one so bad. And
You
then
did.
on our last trip, me and our friend Caitlin went on it. And it was really funny because like they told us, like, or obviously 2 adults, they told us like, oh, you should probably like go on 2 separate ones. But we were like, no, like it'll be fine. We'll try to squeeze. So we squeezed and Caitlin sat like on my lap and like my legs were like breaking in there. And like, but we had so much fun. Like same thing like Tommy said, I don't really like heights. And it's like the perfect like kind of amount where it feels like you're high, but like you know that like there's like the building kind of there. So it's like fine. So I think like I ranked it pretty low because of like the fact that like it's a small space and it's not very comfortable like at all. But I think it'd be cute to do again, like with your kid or something like that. Like I think that
Yeah.
would be cute.
This is one of those like for me that I again in a perfect world imagine that I could say like one day when I have a kid and they're like, "Oh, daddy, like I want to do this one," and it's like, "Well, I can't do it with you," and it's like it's unfortunate, but it's just it is what it is. So for me, I like haven't like taken the like little elevator up there, haven't hopped in there because I just don't think it's for me.
I don't know if you'd fit in there, to be honest.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a Dumbo, and it like whips you around. Like as you're coming down, like
does.
when it like is lowering and you're going around, that is too much for me.
And they really need to add some cushions like on the inside. Like it's just like
Very
metal. Like your
uncomfortable.
legs are just
Yeah,
Hitting
you're in like
metal,
a metal
so-
tube.
Yeah, it's the exact ride vehicle I imagine that was there the first time they put it up.
just a
Yeah,
can.
day one.
Just a can.
All right. Right by there, actually, the same entrance. You just don't go up the elevator, go up the moving stairwell. We have Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover.
I'm gonna say this one's gonna be not. I don't know.
Hot take or
Hot
what?
take. I know people love this.
You
I'll
won't hurt
say
my feelings.
65.
Oh,
Wow.
it's pretty high for you today,
Yeah,
Heidi.
I agree. I'm giving this one a 90 on the dot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 88.
Yeah, this is purely a vibe play,
Mhm.
but I'm also going with an 88.
Yeah,
It
this
just the vibes are immaculate up there.
yeah, seriously. And again, it's like because it's a constantly moving one, like the line moves, and I feel like it's never, even if it says like it's a 20-minute, like it's not going to be that long. And I just think again, it's the perfect, like, take a break, sit there, people watch and listen and go through stuff. I just think it's a really good, like you said, like a vibey attraction.
And you get like little glimmers of things that you would never see if you didn't go on the ride. Like they
For
have
sure.
like the little like like salon up there.
Mhm.
Just things that like are like exclusive to going on the People Mover.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
this
love
ride
the
isn't like my
bouncy
favorite
ramp,
ride.
too.
Oh, go ahead, Tommy.
No, nothing insightful. Just the bouncy ramp on the way up is so pleasing to me.
It really is. It's so soft.
Where your feet are like bent at a whatever angle.
Yeah.
You have to go up
It's like a
there.
nice calf stretch.
It
I was
is.
gonna say this is like not like I feel like people like love this ride, and it's one of those that like I like it because other people like it, but I don't personally like it, if that makes sense. It's like
You're
weird.
willing to participate with everybody else around you.
Makes
exactly.
sense.
Like I go on for the vibes of other people, but if I was by myself at the parks, I don't think I would go on it, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. The only thing that I have with this one, I did this one for the first time when it's like firework time, and I like had hoped that it would like block out the People Mover classic like talking, like, and just play like the firework music, which it doesn't do, which is like a small thing, but I just think there's like potential there that if you go do it during fireworks,
That'd
if
be
it was
cool.
only the firework music and
Yeah.
audio, I think that would
I
be
would
so
like
cool,
that.
where you could then ride it around, like, and it still is cool, like even if they play the actual People Mover like audio. I just think that would be like a small thing that I would change with it.
Yeah, being able to listen to Happily Ever After while you're just riding around on the People Mover. Yeah, that's a huge idea.
Yeah, if they like lean into the fact that like the cult classicness of it, where people like to use it for stuff like that, like fireworks
just
and things like that.
And like at that time, there's nobody on it. Like it's a walk on, and just mute the audio, and then like the diehard people that are riding this for that purpose get a fun little thing. That's my little idea.
Nice.
That's a great idea. All right, the next place we're going is a new one, the newest attraction. It is Tron Light Cycle Run.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
This is hard. I will say 70.
Huh. I'll go 82.
I'm gonna go 77.
I'm going high. I'm going 92. I like this one a lot.
I
know
love it.
A little bit contentious when it first opened. People were not I don't think their expectations were met. I think they're a little disappointed. But I like it a lot. I like the ride vehicle. I think that's super unique. I think you go fast enough for it to be fun. And this is one of the few rides for me personally where the music really stands out. Like there's a piece of the music that they play in the queue that just like totally like seeps into my brain and is just so good when I'm standing in there. So yeah, I like this one a lot, but I admit like I am fully aware that I probably like it more than 95% of people. So
this is another one where I think the length of the ride hurts it a little bit for people.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's a great ride. I think now they're moving away from virtual queue, if I'm not mistaken, into a regular queue here.
I saw that, yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I think for me with this one, this is one of those rides where the peak of this ride is probably one of the top Disney peaks of attractions. Like that first launch is it might be one of the best. Like I think that's there alongside like the Guardians, maybe going backwards, or like the Moon. I feel like it's very high up there of like a peak Disney attraction moment. The only thing for me, again, being like super tall, is like the fit of getting like more so off of the ride versus on the ride is a bit harder for me. But I do love how Tommy said like the ride vehicle is unique. And I think like I could see how it could be uncomfortable for people, but for me, it's not. And I like it a lot. And I think like Tommy also said, which is a cool take, is like the music adds to it. And like, I think gets me so hyped of like, I'm going to go in there and be on Team Blue. And it's like a whole thing. So I really like resonate with that about the music. That's a good point.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I have a hard time because I feel like I want to like this ride more than I do, but I think that like everything about like, and it's because it's new probably, it's like you have to get the virtual queue, like, and then
Mhm.
like if not, like even the one time we got the virtual
was
queue
just
in the
gonna
middle of the
say.
day and it took us so long to get on the ride, and I was like, please let's just get out of this queue right now because this is taking so long and like it's not worth
It's a
it.
terrible queue. Terrible.
Yeah, for like the length that we were waiting, like I don't remember how it was, like hours that we waited.
It was like 2.5
Oof.
hours.
Yeah, and we had
That's
that was like
brutal.
with the virtual queue. So I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But like when I'm on it, I know that like I'm happy and I'm loving it. But it's just like if it was a smidge longer, like especially like on the inside, the like when it gets dark,
It's cool
if
though.
it was a smidge longer, I think that I would like really, really like it.
It's fair.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes with no virtual queue at all.
Yeah.
The next one does not usually have a wait. It is Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress.
Oh boy, here we go. If you're a fan, get ready to be offended.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 0.
Wow.
I'm just gonna say it, and people are
I
gonna be
love it. Let's
Dang.
go.
People are gonna be
I-
so mad, and
They're
like
gonna
I've
be so
respected,
mad at you,
I'm so
Heidi.
here for it.
I've respected every other ride, but some of the rides that I've respected, I haven't been on. So like I don't even know how to say preface.
You may drop them down to a 0 once you've been on them.
Yeah, exactly. And this is just one that like I go on it and I'm just like, no, thank you. And I don't know if it's because it's too long. I know like it's very iconic. So I have so apologized to anyone listening to this, and you can disagree with me. But just personally, like if I didn't have to ride this again, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm not like a person who just like, I wouldn't go in there just to sit in the AC. Like I'd rather just go into somewhere where I can just eat my lunch or something.
I'm in a this one's kind of hard, and I have some hot Disney takes at some other parks, which we'll get to at some point when we're ranking these. But I'm gonna give this one like a 15.
1-5. 15.
Yeah.
1-5.
Oh yeah,
All right.
sorry. Ooh, not a 15.
No, I didn't know. I'm gonna go 28.
Yeah, I'm the same except -20. I'm going with 8.
Just 8.
Yeah, I think that like there is the room at the end where like the future facing room has like a modicum
It's so
of
good.
charm because I like the retro futurism aspect of it.
Yeah.
But that is like the only even anything close to a saving grace. The rest of it I could really do without. I think
I almost went higher.
I don't love it. No, I don't love it.
I love the song.
That's
I
fair.
love the song.
Okay, yeah. This
I think
sounds
it's a
good.
good
It's a bit of
song.
an earworm, but
I
But
feel
in a
like-
good way, I think. It's not like It's a Small World to me.
Not me having a hat of this ride.
Yeah, you do a great big beautiful tomorrow. I just see this to me in a way is Magic Kingdom's Spaceship Earth. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of along the same way with this, where we'll get to that once we do Epcot at some point in the future. But I just think that it kind of probably like at the time was really cool, and it's like, oh, look at this, and this is like the future and stuff. But now it's just not the same. So I don't think that it holds up well for the regular park goer. Of course, there's Disney fans that I'm sure if this one they said was going to close, they would actually riot.
I think
So-
I'm on Team Riot with this one, though, which is shocking to
That is
me. But
shocking.
it's the longest running stage show
Yeah,
in the US or in the world.
you got to leave it. They're going to leave it always, and I respect it.
You can't touch it until it's literally it can't be saved anymore.
I don't necessarily want like them to get rid of it. I think I would like it more if it was just like a walk-through museum where the sort of rooms were set up like as dioramas or
But I
something
think that
like
that's
that.
part of it.
Yeah, but I think the animatronics are dated and don't do it. for me
I
anymore.
think they just need to rip out the seating, put seating that doesn't kind of stink like moist mold, and blast the AC. I think you fix those things, and it's a sleepy dad's dream.
I was just going to say my only memory of this ride was like me and my family did it, and my dad actually snoring to a point where we had to say you need to stop because people are now staring and can't hear the attraction they've come to sit in for.
maybe make it
but-
the only place where you can buy beer in Magic Kingdom and breathe some new life into it.
Yeah, beer and peanuts.
Yeah, really lean into the dad mode.
The dad thing. I just think I'm kind of shocked that you gave it a 0,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
fair. But we have maybe done this together one time. Like
I think we did it twice.
twice. We just don't like. I feel like when you go often, you see like even though you go often, like and we go once a year, let's say, like there are things where you could maybe do it, but you just want to do something else more. That's where this falls in for me.
I agree. I'm the same way, even though obviously I gave it the highest score. I think that we never do it unless like everything else is a super long wait. And I mean, post COVID, we were kind of stuck at Magic Kingdom until 2.
True.
So park hopping wasn't really an option. So if that was like that, or if it was raining, but No, I agree, but I don't want to see it gone, so I can't give
No.
it
That's fair.
a 0, Heidi.
Wow.
Sorry, everyone.
Anybody who's a fan,
Please don't kick me off the
yeah,
podcast.
and yeah.
No, I stand.
Heidi
I
will
Won't
stand-
be
wear
us.
her
I
hat
stand
next
with
time.
Heidi.
Yeah, I'll wear my hat next time. and
Tommy was
and
excited
show
because Tommy
remorse.
lives for the like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The drama.
controversy. Yeah, he's a
no,
drama queen.
No, there are so many people out there pretending to like Carousel of Progress, where if you presented them with two choices, they're choosing the other choice like
100% of the
99
time,
out of 100
yeah.
times.
True.
True.
All right, we've got 2 more, and then we've made our way all the way through Magic Kingdom. So the next one, I didn't save the best for last. Maybe that was a faux pas of me, but the last 2, the first one is a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin.
I will say
0.
I just love
Close.
for those people like on the podcast, the dead space is
sorry.
Heidi's
I'm
is
thinking-
Heidi's-
I totally
I was gonna say,
forgot.
is
no.
It's
is
just a gut
Heidi's
reaction,
eyes-
Heidi. We're not actually mad.
no, I'm just
Okay.
kidding. Heidi's eyes opening wide and trying to think.
To be fair, I don't know what's coming. Haley is saying it. I have to immediately
Yeah.
answer. Everyone else
We got
gets a
you.
minute.
You're
So what are we even ranking again? Like
Space
Ranger
Ranger
spin.
spin.
oh, space. Okay, that's what's called. I don't know. Like 0.
What?
I'm your fan.
I'm gonna
Our
say
problematic queen.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna wow. I'm gonna say
not-
55.
It doesn't function. So
55.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 38 because of Heidi's thing. Like that, those beams don't work.
no.
I'm going 51. That's kind of what I like about it, though. Is
Yeah.
that it's so janky. Like it's like
It is
it's
very
like this
janky.
weird mismatch of like aliens that are definitely not Buzz Lightyear aliens. Someone was just like like, hey, design 150 weird looking creatures and slap them in a laser tag arena.
This ride always makes me laugh. The 4 of us went together one time, and it like broke down or something. Like it paused, and so we were facing each other, like our 2 carts, and Brandon just has the laser in the middle of my forehead, like just directly in between my eyes.
I just wanted to get some more points to catch up. This
I
is
don't
one
know.
I just again all the power to you that you would rather do the treehouse and the riverboat over
Hey.
Space Ranger spin. But for me, this again, when you compare it to something like a Toy Story Mania, I just think there's
Yes.
no comparison. And for me, I have never been close to Galactic Hero.
No.
On my
No,
bucket
ever.
list of life is to at least one time have somebody just please help me get to Galactic Hero. And I don't know like if it will happen, but once I do that, I would feel pretty content to like I'll do it if it's like a low wait, but I would never wait like a 45-minute for
No way.
Space
No.
Ranger spin. It's a good like lightning lane when you have like a Genie Plus of like if it's there, you go and do it.
Yeah, or
They'll
like
walk
you're
on.
on your way to something else. It's like, oh, like it's a literal walk on. Do you want to just do that? We have another
Yeah.
10 minutes to kill before our lightning lights. Like, yeah, sure, I'll shoot some aliens.
All right. Our last one.
The great finale.
Sorry, guys. Is Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
I love this one. 90.
I'm just wait. I'm giving this a 94.
90.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
We love this.
I'm going like 7.
yeah. I went 26.
Wow.
No.
Okay,
I
okay.
guess
I
it's
was
pretty
going
wild, but I
into
just, like,
it.
I don't know. It's,
What?
So
That's-
every time that I've done this as of lately, I just think it's so funny and so well done. And like,
Wait, did Tommy even rank his?
Yeah,
he said
26.
26. It's just like to me, so like this is my favorite show in this whole park and one of my favorite like sit down attractions in all of Walt Disney World. There are just like moments where like I'll never get tired of like that guy. I think that's so funny. I love all of the little things that come up on the screen before the show starts. Like I had one where I like sat down and I came up on the screen like the screen and it said like has just like sat on a child. I think that's hilarious. Caitlin and Austin on our trip got picked and they picked like a thing where they had their glasses hanging from their shirt and they were talking about Canada. Oh, Canada has like sunny beaches and the Eiffel Tower. People there hang their glasses from their shirt. Like
And it was so funny because the person had like the microphone over, I think it was Austin's like glasses, so you couldn't even see it, and then they just like moved it away and everyone was just dying.
I think, and again,
And then the trip that we went on where the person, they picked someone who didn't speak English like in the crowd to answer. And it was so funny because like they just like weren't like able to, you know, answer like exactly. So it was so funny and hilarious.
And then my last note on this, Haley and Tommy are like, wow, this is a lot of talk for some ride that we hate. Was there was like a group of people that were all in a row, the whole row of this theater, in t-shirts, like matching t-shirts, those ones that you would just get on like an Etsy or somewhere that are like, say, like my first ever trip. And the girl said to the guy that got picked, she said, I know something about you, Christopher. And he goes, oh yeah, what's that? And she goes, you love a bargain, my friend. And they showed the whole row of literally 20 people. And then at the end of the row was one woman who was not with their party. And she said, ma'am, I'm sorry, Christopher bought every shirt that was left or something. And it just, again, like, so simple, so funny. I think that, like, of course, this is one that depends on the crowd and if people are into it. But if it's at its peak of its powers, to me, it's so good.
Yeah, maybe we've got to give it another try.
It certainly sounds like it.
But
Yeah.
getting picked sounds like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds like something I'm gonna have nightmares about. I'm gonna have nightmares about not doing my homework in college and getting picked at Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm like, just no, not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to give it another go. Though,
We're gonna
'cause it
have to.
sounds- yeah,
We're
it
gonna
sounds-
do it.
A
sounds
90
funny.
and a 94,
Yeah, I think
and then a
so.
7 and a
I think
26.
we're
We have
obligated
to.
to give it another go.
Yeah. I was gonna say, for me, there's two things that were on my bucket list, and one got scratched off, was being the like rebel spy on Star Tours
Mhm.
and getting picked on Laugh Floor. I would love to be that guy or something on Laugh Floor. That's like a dream.
Yeah, the last time I did it, I was probably like, I don't know, 12. So I was probably just too angsty to really like lean into the
Yeah,
silliness
this
of
is
it.
lame.
Yeah, so maybe now that I'm over my cool guy phase, I can go in
Please.
with an open mind and have a good time.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll have a 90, 94 good time, but
no.
I might get up to like 60, 65.
I will bet that you guys will have it in the 80s if we do it.
All right, we'll have to add it. We'll have to
I'm
have
making a
just
bet.
like a bucket list of Magic Kingdom things that we have left to do
Yeah.
or do again.
Please.
All right. Well, we've officially ranked all of the attraction rides in Magic Kingdom. We went from 0 to I think 90, high 90s was the highest one, 92,
I see a 95 out there.
95.
Yeah, nothing's perfect.
No. But I think that so what we're gonna do is we will average all of these, figure out our top 5 and maybe our bottom.
Okay.
And we will post them over on the Park Squad Pod Instagram page. So make sure you're over there following that. And we will tabulate those and post them over there with the winner and the loser. And then our next podcast to come out, which will be next Monday, we're going to do a Would You Rather of the Disney parks. So sometimes it ranges from everything. It's not just necessarily rides. We can go all the way. But I think we are going to try to keep it within the 6 parks of Walt Disney World. So we're going to do some Would You Rathers there. So welcome to the squad. We're glad you're here and thanks for hanging out.